JT Crowley is talking books. On the show, you'll hear from emerging talent and seasoned veterans from around the world.
Hello, I'm JT Crowley, and today I'm delighted to welcome on the show Dian Cooper from Tomball, Texas in the United States, about her book, The Christmas Light, a book about a box of Christmas lights with an underlying message to the Bible, its true meaning of what Christmas is all about. Dian grew up in the small town of Humble on the outskirts of Houston, Texas. When she went to school, she excelled in writing and drawing, something she has continued to this very, very day, everybody. Despite taking a break from these activities due to her career and her family commitments, she's now retired and living in Tomball. She spends much of her day writing and creating her illustrations. And a lot of those illustrations are actually done by herself. And whilst you're watching this video, this podcast, the drawings on the wall behind her are done by herself. And when you look at her house, they are littered all over her world, all over her walls, and they are simply magical drawings, everybody. Children and her faith mean a lot to Dian, and from a fundamental part of her life. So this is very important to her. Children, her faith. And this is what this book is about, Christmas Light. It's for kids, and it's a message all about the true meaning of what Christmas is about. It's not about shopping. It's not about gifts. It's about happy birthday, Jesus. And Dian has done this through a beautiful, simple book with magical illustrations, and the age range is 0 to 5. So let's invite her on the show to talk about her book, The Christmas Light. Dian Cooper, come and join me on the show.
Hello there, John. How are you today? You doing okay?
I'm really good. It's very hot here in the UK, and I believe it's very hot where you are in Texas.
Very hot, extremely hot.
Obviously, you have air conditioning. We don't have that in the UK.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go, everyone. Yeah. Dian, before we open the book, The Christmas Light, would you like to tell everyone, who you are, what you're about, your background, and why you write your books for very young kids in this fashion of a bit of a fairy tale mixed with innocent religious content?
Well, my name is Dian Cooper. My real name's Carolyn Dian Cooper. And my dream was always to write children's books. And I've loved to illustrate all my life, paint. I'm a child at heart when it comes to magic and just, I love children. So the books that I write are for children, and there's underlying messages for them in a biblical way. I just love, this was my dream. I own a game reserve in South Africa, so I love animals and take care of them. So my characters are incorporated in my children's books. And I just find much joy in writing these books, and I hope that whoever reads them are blessed and they find joy as well.
And, Dian, when people look behind you, they can see all the pictures. They've got the giraffes, got the lions, there's a whole host of characters there. And there's actually an image there on the screen, everybody, right of the house, of Mrs. Smith's house, which is the house in the book of the Christmas Light. And you can see all the lights on the tree there. We will talk about it in a minute, everybody. Diane, let's open the book. Firstly, talk to me about the amazing illustrations you've created here. Clearly, this is a huge love of yours. Let's start by talking about the cover and the significance of the artwork there and the awards you've achieved. So when you look at the book, everybody, there's quite a lot of awards there. So tell us about your awards, but tell us why there's a cross as the heart of the illustration there on the cover.
Okay, so when I illustrated the front of my book, I wanted it to illuminate the meaning of Christmas, because when Jesus was born in Bethlehem, the star was over his place where he was born, and that's why I painted it. I wanted whoever picked up my book got the feeling of the meaning of Christmas and maybe open it to read it. And then if you see at the bottom, the little Christmas lights are happy. They're so happy to see the star, which is the light of Jesus.
Talk to me about the awards that are on, the front cover. The finalists, you got the Pinnacle Book Achievement Award, top pick. Do these awards mean a lot to you?
They do. I'm actually humbled and grateful. I never expected awards like this. Sometimes I can't believe that I got received these awards. I'm just incredibly grateful and honored. And I pray that, this Christmas light, will be an annual Christmas story, and possibly a little TV show one day. That's my dream.
Who knows, everyone? Who knows? if you don't have dreams, well, you're not going to see it in life. So have dreams, everyone. Yes. Who knows?
Yes.
See Dian Cooper on the TV. Hey.
That would be funny.
Absolutely.
Well,
I'm intrigued, Diane, to to understand what gave you the idea of creating a book for young kids, 0 to 5 years old, with using light bulbs to tell the true meaning of Christmas. Where did this theory, this fantasy, this storyline, this imagination of yours come from? Where was it from?
When I wrote this book, it was 5 years ago, and it just laid in my writings, and it just came to me. It was a Christmas that I was alone, and the story came to me, I believe, through Jesus to write it. And he was reminding me that I wasn't alone. And the Holy Spirit, I'll start crying. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, so the Holy Spirit came to me and gave me this book because he wanted me to tell others that they're not alone. And if they felt like I felt that Christmas, that he was there for them, and that Christmas wasn't all about presents and all of that, because it's about the Lord's birthday and the joy and the gift that came to us through Jesus being born. And that's where the story came from. Yeah. So let me my composure. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm going to start laughing in a minute, but
why not?
That's where the story came from. And Bright was me in a way. And then the Christmases in my book are childhood memories and the story was just written. People ask me, John, how do you paint? I have no idea. I just go upstairs and it happens. And all my books, they just happen. And I just feel like God uses me in that way, and that this is my purpose for life. So there you go.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, Diane, I love the picture of in the Kindle version. It's on page 2, everybody. And when you look at it, it's brightly coloured. You've got the window in the attic upstairs, and that's very an important window. And when you look at the stained glass window there, which is beautifully coloured in, beautifully illustrated, there's a cross. And this cross, Diane, is very significant to you because this is all about you as a Christian person, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it is. And the cross in the window was there to remind everyone of faith, the faith, the Christian faith, and it shined into the attic and every year. And it just was, it's something that lets people know that it's always going to shine, that Jesus's light always shines, whether it's in a window or in your heart. And so when Miss Smith sees the cross in the window, was her reminder that Jesus is with her too, and it was leading her to go rescue Bright and let him shine bright for other people to love him as much as they love Jesus.
Because Bright, everybody, he is the main character. He's a light bulb. And he's been in a box since 1976 with all his family, his mum, his dad, his friends. And every year, Mrs. Smith has completely forgotten about him until she sees the light. So the story is Mrs. Smith, as she sees the light reminding her of, a Christian value.
Yes.
And so she goes up to the attic and there she sees the box. And when you look at the picture in there, it's got a date, 1976. And she looks in there and there are the lights. So this is a wonderful story, everybody, about, yes, it's Christmas lights, but there's an awful lot of message behind it. It's all about the true meaning of Christmas. And it's a message to kids, years 0 to 5. To understand what Christmas really is about. It's not just about presents and me. I'm right, aren't I, Diane?
Yes. And when I wrote this book, and that's funny that you brought that up, because I've watched several little kids get their presents, and that's all they're thinking about. That's all they're thinking about is what they're going to get from Santa Claus. And that's not why we celebrate Christmas. It's part of the joy and the giving of Christmas. But I feel like our children have a misconception of what giving is about. I feel like they're at Christmas time, it's all about getting. And they don't have parental guidance to give them the joy or teach them the joy of giving a gift. That's my take. I've been around a lot of children in my day, and I'm praying that our parents will try to turn Christmas around into our children giving to other children. Tons of children in need, tons. My game reserve in Africa, they don't have anything. And just let them see how wonderful it is to give. And it's not all about getting. That's how I feel. But that's my opinion.
Absolutely. And so when you look at the book, Diane, apart from the cozy storyline of the Christmas light, it's very cozy, everybody. It is. And the illustrations, they're vivid, they're bright, as any children's book should be. But what it, represents to me, for some people, is there's another message here. There's a hidden message within these stories. And, for young children, now, this is a book, that a young child, yes, very gifted, could read, but it's more of a book for a parent or a grandparent to sit down, spend some quality time with their child, especially around Christmas time, and to look and reflect upon what the true meaning of Christmas is. And it's also the story here. It's very cleverly done, everybody. The lights are up there. They've been up there since 1976, and Mrs. Smith has forgotten all about them for years and years. And every year when Christmas comes, the lights are thinking, is this going to be our year? And this is a poignant message to people. Sometimes we are forgotten, but Jesus never forgets us. This is what this book is about, isn't it? Part of this section, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I feel like in our world, Christmas time is a time for joy, but we also forget about the people that have no families, no joy, no anything, no food, nothing. At Christmas time, they find themselves alone, and it's just, they're never alone. And I hope that my book, even if it was fallen into the hands of children that can't read, they can get them somewhere around the world and know that they're not alone. It doesn't have to be Christmas. We're never alone. Jesus is always, always with us. Always. That's my belief.
And of course, the message is, yes, they are light bulbs, but is always be positive, never give up, because the day will come when you can shine.
Amen to that. And my other books are on the same message, that our children are uniquely and wonderfully made by Jesus. And every child is special in their own way. And if they dream, never, never, never give up. Never give up. And that's my underlying message in a lot of my books.
And when I look at the book, Diane, of course, light in many religious institutions is a very, very important factor. Jesus said, I am the light that will lead you out of darkness. Was that why you chose light bulbs with cute faces, characteristics? Because they're cute, everybody. They're adorable. I fell in love with them. I did. They're cute. There's a simple message, very often have a profound affection, people, especially very young children. Was this the story set out purposefully in this fashion? And do you think it conveys the right message to this young audience of yours?
I'm hoping that when I wrote the book and I illustrated the character of Bright, that it would draw the children in to the cute little character, little sweet faces, and make them want their mama, grandma, or whoever read them the book. Because a lot of times our children, love to be read to. And if they fall in love with Bright and Allie and Miss Smith, they're going to say, Grandma, will you please read me that book that you read me last Christmas? Remember the one about the Christmas light, Bright?
And he's a little blue light, everybody.
It's a little blue light.
Little blue light. Yeah, and it's just adorable. These little scenes, these little characters, but there is a message here for kids. Christmas
Yes.
is about Jesus's birthday. It's
Yes.
about giving. It's not about taking, and it's not about me. That's the fundamental message in the book. It's about Jesus' birthday and giving. I'm right.
Did you notice,
Huh?
John, did you notice that Grandma, Miss Smith, Allie, only gets one gift? She'll send a Christmas list a mile long to her grandma, but she gets one gift.
One carrot. That's it. Only one.
She doesn't get
notice that.
called rotten.
No, she doesn't. When they look at the Kindle version, because that's the version I've read everybody, I like on page 8, of the Kindle version, the dream Bright is having, and your reference to the Bible, John chapter 3, verse 16. Did you enjoy creating this scene?
I totally enjoyed it.
I thought you did.
I love, before our interview today, or our radio talk show, I went through the book again, and I just smiled because even though I wrote the book and illustrated it, it makes me happy to read it. I don't understand why it gives me so much joy, but it does. And I hope it does others as well. John 3:16, when I was in 3rd grade, was my Bible verse. Back in our day in elementary school, children would get to read a Bible verse over the loudspeaker before school started. And that was the very first Bible verse I ever memorized. I can remember saying it up to the loudspeaker at North Belt Elementary. And I was so scared, but I did okay. But that Bible verse has been in my spirit and in my life since I was a little girl.
So that's why you put it in the book?
Yes.
Why not?
Yes. Why not?
Why not, everybody? I love the... this is a small book, everybody. It's full of beautiful, bright, vivid illustrations, colours, paintings, because that's what a kid's book should be about. I love the scene on page 10, on the Kindle version. All the visitors who came to see Mrs. Smith's house. It's beautiful. The house is all lit up, everybody. And, they all came to see the lights on the house. And of course, this is not about just seeing the house, all the lights on. This is also a little bit of story of Jesus being the light of the world and people coming to visit him. He is shining here through the light of bright. This is what it's about, isn't it, Diane?
Yes, it is. And if you look at the illustration, do you see the star over the house?
Yes.
That's the light of Jesus.
What I don't see, Diane, is the light bulb bright standing out. Why is that?
Okay, so the light bulb bright doesn't stand out because all of his family and friends are bright, as much as bright is, because they believe and they have hope and joy. And no matter if they're different colors, they still shine brightly. Regardless if they're red, blue, yellow, black, and white, that little song we used to sing.
I remember that.
Yes. And so that's why that I didn't make him stand out. But if you look really close, there's a lot of little blue lights on that house.
There is, everybody. But which one's bright? Go and have a look, everyone. Go and have a look.
Next time I read my book to my children in one of my schools, I'm going to ask them, I'm going to say, which one do you think is bright?
Oh, which one do you want to be bright?
Yes. Yes.
On page 11, of this just heartwarming. It says, have a look, everybody, at the lights on the house. But the correlating story, everybody, is very significant because it's Happy Birthday, Jesus. And I want Diane to go to page 15. And Diane, would you actually read the words that are embedded in the illustration there on page 15 on the Kindle version? What does it say? I know what it says.
Okay, so when I read my books to the little kids in schools, at the end, we sing to Jesus.
Are you going to sing that?
I'm going to sing it. You ready?
Why not?
Happy birthday, Jesus. Happy birthday to thee. Happy birthday, Jesus. Happy birthday to thee. And many more. And it says, sing to him a new song, make cheerful music, and sing with joy. So I have to bring something to your attention.
Go on.
So I'm reading my book, and I'm holding my book up to the little kids in school.
There it is, everybody.
Yes. And I start singing. And this darling little boy raises his hand. He's on the front row. He goes, Miss Diane. He goes, why did you write Jesus' birthday song in cursive? We don't learn cursive in school. And I said, I know, if you look at my other books, I don't do that anymore. But he pointed it out that I had cursive writing, and he couldn't read my song. So there you go. You live and learn.
So there you go, everyone. When you get to that page, get the kids to sing it. Happy birthday, Jesus. There you go. Now, Diane, apart from your book, I know that you in your life, wildlife and saving wildlife are very, very important to you. So tell us a bit about your in South Africa, your safari, your reserve. Tell us all about it and what you're trying to do there.
I have a game reserve in the Limpopo province in South Africa. I have everything without dangerous game. My main love and my dream to have the game reserve, I've always loved giraffes. And I have 7 giraffes now. Maybe I'll have to count again. I've had 3 babies, Faith, Christmas, and Blessing. Manyama's the daddy, and Grace and Sarah. Sarah's the sister, but I don't think Sarah's the mother of the 3 babies. But that's the way it goes. But my game reserve, okay, it's almost like America. You have game reserves to protect the wildlife, which is wildlife conservation. And there's many of these reserves in South Africa, just like we have national parks here in America. And so I take care of them. I feed them. I make sure that they're healthy through game blocks that have all the parasite prevention and all of that. I have staff and a farm manager who works for me when I'm in the States. And then I usually go over there for about 3 months and take care of everything. And then I come back, and basically a lot of my books are my game reserves, the inspiration for my books. And it's always been my dream. I love animals. I just went on a rhino expedition to save black and white rhinos. And I took a collar off an elephant that was being protected by the collar. but he had grown more, and so the collar had to be taken off. And our black and white rhinos are being poached. They are, it's a horrible situation. And so it's up to us and everyone who loves animals to protect them. And so that's what I just got finished doing. And I got to kiss a black and white rhino and an elephant. I kissed them and they made.
And that's why you can see behind Diane, the drawings of the giraffes. They're her drawings, and that's why the giraffes and the lions are there, because that's what she's about. I asked Diane before we came on to do this live podcast, when you look at the book, everybody, there's a little girl called Ali in it. And I said to Diane, I think this little character, Ali, is you as a child. Isn't it?
And I said, yes.
You did.
You're so smart.
Diane, what's next for you? What books are coming down the line? Is it going to be another, Christmas one? Is it going to be for kids, or is it going to be more animals? What's coming down the line?
My next book is called Mommy Saves Me, or Mommy Save Me. It is about a little rhino, but there's underlying message to it. So I'm going to surprise you. I've already painted little Geronimo. He's so cute. I don't have him in here. He's upstairs in my art room, but that's my next book. And I think it's going to touch the hearts of a lot of children and parents alike. So we'll see.
There you go, everyone. Hopefully she'll come back and do an interview again with me. We'll talk about the rhino.
Oh, that would be fun.
Who knows? Who knows, everybody? Yeah. Who do you see as your market, Diane, and who would you like to see, reading your books,
Oh, I'm hoping that it's not just marketed as in the Christian book world or market. I've noticed on the internet that my books are being marketed all over the world. So that's a good thing. Even though it's Christian based, I don't feel like it's bias towards the Christian faith, because actually Christmas has always been about Jesus's birthday. I just think we've gotten away from why we celebrate Christmas. So we'll see. I hope, I don't feel like it's just for children. There's an underlying message in there for, just because we get old doesn't mean that we are thrown away, and that goes for grandparents and our elderly parents. They still have a purpose and can shine bright in their own right. So we'll see how the book goes. I really, I hope it's in every household all over the world one day. But
and on TV.
That's in God's hands.
And on TV. And
never give up.
No, never give up. Even though you've forgotten, never give up. Always be positive. That's the whole message in the book. And yes, and even we maturer kids are still kids at heart.
We are. I'm still a kid.
Absolutely. I'm still a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Diane, where can people get your book from?
My book is, if you Google it, it's all over. But international people, there are international bookstores that are carrying my book. So, like if I go to South Africa to my game reserve, you can go on Google co.za and you can find it. But mainly Barnes & Noble, Life Rich Publishing, Amazon, Walmart has carried my books, Target has carried my books. So they're everywhere as to a surprise to me. How's that sound? I mean, it's just an honor and a blessing. So
There you go, everyone.
Yeah.
Dian Cooper, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast show. It's been amazing. So when I looked at your book, they're cozy, they're bright, they're beautiful, but there is a undertone message to them, everybody. And that message is to young kids. Christmas is about Jesus' birthday. It's not all about taking. It's about giving, and it's also about remembering who Jesus was. That's the concept of this beautiful, beautiful little book, everybody. Dian, thank you for joining me.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Absolutely. I'm JT Crowley. Thanks for listening. Wherever you're in the world. Till next time, stay safe.